You're tuned into the first newscast devoted to the Highland Lakes area. Local team coverage on Tribune Headline News, bringing you the stories you care about now. Hi everyone, Connie Swinney here with your headlines. This is the Picayune TV on Northland Channel 15. Here's what's coming up. This is what may happen when you run a stop sign. So say authorities who investigated this rollover behind Bluebonnet Cafe on Friday. Details in a moment. Open for business. The old Library Thrift Store is now home to the Marble Falls Economic Development Corporation. We take you on a tour. We have a report of fireworks in Marble Falls. Once again, a local leader sparks interest in raising funds for an upcoming 4th of July display worth thousands of dollars.
How about that weekend with temperatures in the 90s? Well, much more of the same for the starting of your work week. Your 3-day forecast is up next.
Thank you, Larry. See you in a moment. We also have the latest stats in baseball and softball coming up. This is Tribune Headline News. Stay with us.
We are established. We are qualified. We are certified. We are knowledgeable. We are dependable. We are Ken's Heating and Air. Our people make the difference.
Hello, we're back. 2 people are recovering from injuries after a rollover in Marble Falls. This is the scene of a collision just before noon on Friday at the intersection of 3rd Street and Avenue G. Authorities say a car traveling south on Avenue G ran a stop sign and collided with an SUV. Both drivers suffered non-life-threatening injuries. In our next headline, Marble Falls City officials breathed new life into an old Library Thrift Store. It was a grand opening for this facility at the intersection of Broadway and 4th Street. The building, formerly the site of the Library Thrift Store, is now housing administrative offices for the Economic Development Corporation and the city's Development Services Department. The EDC is leasing part of the building, which is owned by the city. The facility was refurbished in part with EDC funds. We have more news and your weather forecast coming up after the break.
We have some playoff action on the diamond for you. All that coming up in sports.
Because experience matters. For home, auto, business, health, and life, we are here for you. When Galloway experts make top providers compete for your business, you win. The Galloway Insurance Team since 1935. Earn it, Horseshoe Bay, and Marble Falls.
Well, welcome back everyone. I'm Larry Page, and you know you're in Texas when it's 90-degree temperatures and the wind gusts is up to 20 miles an hour, and the month of May is only getting started. Well, let's take a look at that Highland Lakes forecast through midweek. High temperatures expected to reach up to 92 with winds from the south up to 20 miles an hour. On Monday night, the lows will be hovering around 70 degrees. On Tuesday, partly sunny skies with highs inching closer and closer to the mid-90s. The lows overnight in the low 70s. We might see some relief by Wednesday. There's a 20% chance of rain through Thursday. We'll keep you up to date on those possible midweek rain chances throughout the coming days. That's your Highland Lakes forecast for Northland Cable Channel 15, the Picayune TV. I'm Larry Page. Back to you, Connie.
Thank you, Larry, for that report. Jennifer Fierro has followed the progress of athletes in Llano and Marble Falls. Here she is with the latest on the Marble Falls girls softball season.
The Marble Falls High School softball team was facing one of the best opponents it has faced all season. Thursday night, game 1 in the area round of the playoffs at Scarce Softball Field. Marble Falls hung on for a 5-4 victory thanks to some outstanding hitting from sophomores Alicia Macias and Abby Henry, and then of course the Lady Mustangs were able to draw some free bases in order to score some of the runs. Peyton Perrell led off the first inning with the walk and then came home on a stand-up double by teammate Haley Wooten to start things off. Afterwards, we caught up with a ecstatic and happy head coach Tino Salazar.
I think both teams played a good game. I know both teams had a few mistakes, and we were fortunate enough to get a run there, I think in the 5th inning, and Alicia got some good pitches. You know, they swung at some pitches that helped us out. So it was a back and forth ball game. It was exciting. It was fun. It was good to be a part of those games.
Just as a reminder, the Lady Mustangs will be at Smithson Valley Friday night, 6 o'clock for Game 2. And of course, if necessary, Game 3 will follow 30 minutes after the end of Game 2. The Yellow Jacket baseball team was not as fortunate as the Lady Mustangs, falling to Fredericksburg 1-0. And unfortunately for Llano, this one run came unearned thanks to an error in the 6th inning. The outstanding pitching of Ryan Flores, the ace of the Fredericksburg staff, produced 12 strikeouts for the game. Meanwhile, Llano countered with junior Clay Tarter, who came up with 7 strikeouts and gave up only 6 hits. Now, we did get a chance to talk to Brad Harmon after the game, who said that one mistake was the difference in this contest, and he feels that his team is good enough and mentally tough enough to not let one game beat them twice. Game 2 will be at Scarce Baseball Field on the Marble Falls High School campus, 5:30 on Saturday, and then after that, if needed, Game 3 will follow 30 minutes later. That's it for sports. I'm Jennifer Fierro. Connie, back to you.
Jennifer, thanks. A local leader has lit the fuse for support for another Independence Day celebration. The Marble Falls 4th of July event almost didn't happen last year after funds dried up from the local Chamber of Commerce. Local businesswoman Judy Miller is also a volunteer for the Marble Falls Parks and Recreation Commission. She has basically been in charge of raising funds to keep the fireworks display going. She has helped raise $11,000 so far towards the $17,000 price tag to fund the proposed display. And finally, from fireworks honoring our country's independence to flags recognizing Mexico's victory over the French in a Mexican battle, the annual Cinco de Mayo celebrations got underway Thursday. We captured these images at Julie's Cocina in Cottonwood Shores. Families enjoyed the festive images, food, and also live music throughout the day. Those were your headlines. Thanks so much for watching. For the Picayune TV, I'm Connie Swinney.
Welcome. Today with the Marble Falls ISD Central Administration Office, we're going to be talking with the candidates for Marble Falls Mayor. Stay tuned. Today on our show we have the candidates for the Marble Falls Mayor's Office. We're pleased to welcome incumbent Mayor George Russell and his opponent, noted businessman Russell Buster. The format for today's show is we're going to give each candidate a question, a minute to answer the question, and then give them 30 seconds for rebuttal. The first question will go to Mayor Russell. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show, by the way. Mayor, what is your plan for greater cooperation between the Council, the Economic Development Corporation, and the Marble Falls Lake LBJ Chamber of Commerce?
Well, you know, really, all 3 organizations have some outstanding individuals that want to make Marble Falls better, except they're going in different directions. And so the first step, and we started it about 6 months ago, is simply to get the groups together to talk, to see if we could come up with a strategic plan or a strategic goal or a project that they could all work on. And that's being done right now, but it's going to take some time and get a similar goal between all 3 organizations to work with.
Good. Thank you very much. Mr. Buster, same question to you, sir.
In general, I agree with George. What I would like to emphasize, though, is that we changed to a 4B corporation, which allowed us to emphasize tourist-related and visitor-related activities. And so that's what I want to see the emphasis to be among all those groups.
Okay. Mayor Russell, you have 30 seconds for rebuttal if you wish.
Well, you know, I hate to agree with Russell. He and I kid each other for years, but one of the things, and if I'm elected, you'll see our budget process start out with what kind of city do we want to be? He is right that the 4B Corporation can emphasize tourism and funds can be placed on that particular area, but everybody has to agree with what Marble Falls should be, wants to be, as opposed to a bunch of special projects.
Good. And Mr. Buster, your turn for rebuttal.
I think that we've gone through addressing all the different groups, and I think it's time for us to take that focus and to really emphasize the tourism aspect with the planned visitor center and some other projects like that. I think it's really time to focus on that aspect.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Now we're going to go to question number 2, but we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to give Mr. Buster the first shot at the question. And that question is, how do we improve the city's economic future?
That's that's a magic question, or a $64,000 question. Marketing has a lot to do with it. I mean, we're got all the natural attributes, and we're still in the growth center in the Southwest. So we've got a lot of things working for us, and so we just got to fine-tune that through the message that we put out through the door number 3 folks that we're working with and such as that.
Okay, very good. Mayor Russell, same question to you. How do we improve the city's economic future?
Well, it is taking what Russell says. We've got to actually market ourselves. We need to have our Economic Development Corporation go out and talk to people to come in. And then we need to use the economic development tools that are in hand and on the books, like enterprise zones, 380 agreements, sales tax abatements, things that the business that comes here can generate and utilize those increased funds to enhance the economic community. But the one thing, it is going to take some time due to the current economy that we're living in right now.
Okay, very good, thank you. And Mr. Buster, your rebuttal.
We're in agreement on a lot of things. It's more of focus and where the accent is put on things. But yes, it's going to take a while. We didn't get here into this economic situation in one day, and we won't get out of it in one day. So it takes a lot of planning and looking to the future. We need to identify those things that we think will be enhanced with what we have.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Russell?
Well, like I said earlier, I hate to agree with Russell, but we have a community that is a beautiful community that we're not taking advantage of the assets. We've been very, very fortunate that businesses have come here because of what we are, the lakes, the retail hub and so forth. We've got to expand that out to the further in the state and other communities around.
Good. Well, thank you for your response. So far, our candidates both have kind of agreed on some issues. The next one, however, has been somewhat controversial. It's come up recently in the city of Marble Falls, and it's basically about the location of the police department, which right now is downtown on historic Main Street. So we're going to start with Mayor Russell first and ask him, when and where should the police department be moved?
Thomas, I don't have an answer. I think that I publicly said that I think that it should move. We tend to forget that the police station right now is was told a temporary location until we could find a better place. We have worked with obtaining land adjacent to the fire department for the removal of it, but right now it's just a matter of economics. It's going to take taxpayer dollars to pay for the move of the station, and it is a difficult move. It's not just a plain old building. There is some special security and communications efforts in it.
Good, I appreciate your answer. Now, we're going to give the question next to the mayor's opponent, Russell Buster. Mr. Buster, I know you have a little bit of a different take on this issue, and I hope you'll explain it for us.
Well, certainly the police station has been identified for 20 years as like George said, was in a temporary location, and we need to move it. Right now, I think that there are some possibilities to utilize the EDC building, Coat Circle, for a multi-use structure in the long term. That's one of the things I would like to see the EDC and the city work together on, because they got a great deal on the property, and it could save us millions of dollars if we could arrive at a way to dovetail a lot of these issues.
So basically, the way we're looking at it is you'd like to see it move out to the Colt Circle building, and Mayor Russell, you talked about moving it to that other property. So I have a little difference of opinion here. What's your rebuttal to what Mr. Buster said?
Well, as far as the location, Thomas, I don't know what the location. We do have that land to do. Once you look at moving it, the Colt Circle will have to go in. But a couple of things to keep in mind. It is not available today. And based upon the way the law is written, if the city does go into that particular building, we have to pay the Economic Development Corporation the fair market value of the thing. So there's going to be a cost at wherever the police department goes. But it does need to relocate.
Sure. And of course, there's always two sides to every issue. Mr. Buster, on your rebuttal, I know I've heard from some readers who have thought your idea about going to Colt Circle was not a bad idea, but what would you say in your rebuttal to Mayor Russell?
There are a lot of things that lend itself to the Colt Circle usage there. Now, there are issues about how the building can be used by the city if it's been bought by the EDC, but I think the lease structure could be worked out. There's a lot of ways to address that. The main thing is that it's an inexpensive building with which for us to work from. The budget for the new police station is $11 million, and so I think that there's something shy of that we could do that would be a great cost savings.
Good. Well, thank you both for your responses. I appreciate it. Now we come to the portion of the show that we call the wild card question. Candidates have also said the gotcha question. Look at it which way you want. The question arises from us back in the newsroom, coming up with ideas, from readers, from viewers. The main thing to remember is the candidates have not been prepped. They don't know what the question is going to be, and we want to just see how they think on their feet. So I believe we started on the last question with you just a second ago, so the honor for answering the wild card goes first to Mr. Buster, and the question is, what more can be done to promote Marble Falls?
Well, a lot of things can be done to promote Marble Falls. One is to arrive at a concrete vision. We've certainly been able to approach that with our work with the door number 3 folks who came up with a slogan in the middle of everywhere. But I think it misses a few things as far as detailing what Marble Falls offers. I've kicked around a vision that I call Ost-Tausburg, which is Austin, Taos, and Fredericksburg, because of the huge parts of Lady Bird Lake and hike and bike trails to art and music to a Main Street centered town.
Yeah.
So.
That's an interesting concept. And Mr. Russell, how about you?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is we have to promote the area. We have limited ourselves in the past by just promoting Marble Falls. You've got to remember that if we have any events in the area, we have the hotels here. We have some of the venues here, such as the pavilion and the theater and so forth that we can utilize here. So anything that we can promote for the area, in other words, enlarge our focus a little bit with events and so forth, and then get that information out to the state and the other areas.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Mr. Buster, time for your rebuttal.
I would like to see us focus more on the things that are in Marble Falls, which there are not enough of. So when somebody asks what is there to do when they come to Marble Falls and they're staying at one of the hotels, is that they have to leave town. So that is the aspect that I would like to see us increase, whether it's the tourism train that is a possibility to run out of downtown through Granite Mountain. I think it would be a wonderful type of destination, bar Marble Falls, in Marble Falls.
Well, thank you very much. Mayor Russell, you're on deck. How about your rebuttal?
You know, I'm sort of stuck in the middle. There are many events that the city of Marble Falls cannot house, and we could take advantage of surrounding communities. And if you look at anything, regionalization or strategic partnerships are the way that any city is going to go and survive. We're fortunate that we have some assets here that'll bring people in. We're fortunate that we have the restaurants and the hotels here that can take advantage of the hotel tax and the sales tax and so forth to go ahead and promote them, and we use our dollars to promote the area.
Good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want to thank both our guests today, mayoral candidates George Russell, who is the incumbent, and Russell Buster, who is his opponent. Remember, the elections are May 14th. Go out, exercise your right to vote, have your voice heard. I'm Thomas Edwards, your host. This has been Tribune Talk with Thomas Edwards. You can catch us on demand at www.thepicayunetv.com and also on television on Northland Communications Cable 15. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.